Hello guys and welcome back to my channel. Today in this video I'm going to review the Eachine Aurora 90 Micro FPV racing drone. First of all, I would like to thank Banggood for sending me this product for a review. Now, lots of reviews already been made on this quadcopter. It took about 2 months to arrive to Israel because of the snail mail, but luckily I'm getting also tomorrow the Aurora 100 for a review, also from Banggood, and I'm going to compare these two drones. So first of all, this is the Frsky version. So let's open the box and see everything we're getting inside. First, you can see we get the instruction manual. Second of all, this is the quadcopter. You can see that the camera came detached. We'll have to deal with it later because it's connected only with this sticker, so I'm going to fix it. This is the lipo battery that we get in. This is a 2 cells, 450 mAh, and has a discharge rate of 80 C. The battery connector is JST. Also getting this charger. Normally with these quadcopters we get a USB charger, so they included a full charge compact charger. You can charge either 2 cells or 3 cells battery with these chargers. Getting one spare set of props, a hex driver and a screwdriver, velcros for the battery, the charger cable, and we got also the LAN cap lying around, and that's about it. The Eachine Aurora 90 features 1104 7500 kV motors, and it supports only 2S batteries, so don't be tempted to use 3 cells battery because you're risking burning this quadcopter. The camera is 600 TVL CMOS camera. You can see that changing the channels is done with these LED indicators, not like the TX03 camera. It has LED indicators on the back, a JST connector on the back as well. The ESCs are 4-in-1 10 ampere ESCs, and it supports Dshot. The USB port is inconveniently placed on the left side, and in order to get to it you will have to buy an adapter, or you can just take off this piece and then you will be able to access it. As I said earlier, the camera came a little bit loose, so in order to secure it I'm going to use a zip tie, and now it is much better. The cloverleaf antenna is protected using these guards, and this quadcopter looks very protected in general. I'm not sure if these carbon plates are going to hold and they're going to survive a big crash, but we'll have to take it outdoors and test it out. This is not a light quadcopter. It weighs 75.7 grams without the battery, and if we add in the battery we're looking at 107.1 grams, so it's pretty heavy. Just to compare it, my Pico X weighs 50 grams, 50.5 grams without the battery, and if we add in a 2 cells battery it weighs about 82 grams. So the Aurora 90 is 25 grams heavier, which is a lot in these micro quadcopters. The flight controller, the ESC, and the receiver are actually the Eachine Minicube, which can be purchased also separately. I paid for it about $60, so it can be also be bought separately, and you can use it also on your own micro quadcopter. Another nice feature that this quadcopter has is the OSD. I actually haven't flown a micro quadcopter with an OSD yet, so it's going to be nice to have an indication of the voltage and the flight states. So we're going to see how it performs. I'm going to quickly connect it to a screen and we'll see how the OSD looks like. So this is our OSD. This is default. I haven't touched it. I actually haven't even bind it yet. So you can see on the left we have here our name. Then you have here the voltage. Now it's 7.5 volts. Whenever it reaches about 7 volt, you should land it. Here is the mode that we are. Now it's on acro. is gonna be RSSI, and this is the timer here. And we have also the artificial horizon, and it does look pretty good. I must tell you that the quality looks good, and this is only a 25 milliwatt transmitter, so it's not going to, the range is not going to be fantastic, but normally I fly this quadcopter in a very close range, so I'm not going to get too far with it. Now, before binding the quadcopter, I just want to tell you that Eachine did a very nice job with this instruction manual, and it's very thorough and it tells you everything you need to know about the quadcopter, how to change the channels on the transmitter, how to bind it. And one more thing that I forgot to mention earlier is that the OSD is controllable through the Betaflight configurator. So you can configure all the positions, the name on the screen, so you can actually make it it's very easy to configure it, versus normally you will need a mini OSD and then you have to configure it with a sort of difficult software. So this helps us a lot. In order to bind the quadcopter to the Taranis, you would have to put the mode on D8, then hit bind. You will hear this beeping indicator. Then you will have to press this button that is located here while connecting the battery into the quadcopter. And now you can just disconnect it, and it has been bind. Then just press exit here and we are good to go. We just have to connect it to CleanFlight in order to make sure that all the channels behave as we want it to behave. When you connect the battery to the quadcopter after it has been bind, you can see we get in telemetry. We have here the RX indicator that states what is the signal of the receiver. And this is a very nice thing to have, first of all, because it helps you find your quadcopter in case it gets lost and you can't hear the buzzer somehow, because it can give you a direction. And you can also monitor the signal and see if you're getting too far, so it means that you will have to go back. The next thing we're going to do, we're going to connect it to Betaflight and see what is the basic configuration, and after that we are going to take it for a test flight. Now, in order to get to the USB port, I actually had to disassemble the entire guard. You have to remove all the screws on the bottom in order to get to it. But I think it's going to be interesting to fly this quadcopter without the cover. Maybe you can actually place the camera here or somewhere else. We'll have to see. Maybe it's something that we'll need to consider, because without this cover, it only weighs 51.6 grams. Of course, we'll need to add camera, but this camera weighs about 5 grams top, so it's 56.6 grams. So this should be interesting, and maybe I'll print with my 3D printer, print something and put it here. After we're gonna take it for a test flight and fly it with this cover, we'll see which one behaves better. So all the configuration is done with Betaflight. You'll just have to connect the USB port and then just hit connect. By the way, I just had a problem with the USB cable that it didn't work, so before you go and disassemble the quadcopter, use a different USB cable, because sometimes it's the problem. So hit connect. You can see that the quadcopter has been identified. Let's go through the default settings. These are the default PIDs. I'm going to fly it firstly with the default PIDs. Maybe then I'm going to start playing with it. Let's see how it identifies the remote.
Welcome to Taranis.
I just turned on my remote. You can see I got it here reversed, so I will have to quickly configure it. So I successfully configured everything. And you can see the RSSI is on channel 9, so we can see the indicator. That's what makes it displayed on the OSD. The R switch is on channel 1. I don't like it, so I'm going to add it. And I'm going to configure air mode, and I don't fly with angle mode. I'm going to put horizon here. Channel 1. And the buzzer is on auxiliary 3. I'm gonna put it on auxiliary 2. And now I have a buzzer. Don't forget to configure the buzzer and see it's working, because if you get lost in the grass, it will help you save your quadcopter, of course, if the battery hasn't been detached. OSD configuration is done through this option here, and you can change craft name, you can change it, you can move the positioning, and you can save it. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to take it for a test flight. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this short introduction, and see you on my next videos. Goodbye.